We have Anthony Hopp here, one of the vice presidents at Samaritan Ministries, with us. And Anthony's been on the program a number of times. Welcome, Anthony. And
thanks, Dan.
one of the things Anthony was sharing there, that it's been 2 years since Samaritan Ministries has had a share increase where they've increased the share. And I know that you guys have been growing, really had some really strong growth, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right, Dan. Especially over the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen pretty significant growth, and this open enrollment, we saw more members joining us, and so it's just continues to resonate with people, especially because of the cost. You know, people are just really struggling with increased premiums and deductibles that are increasing as well. And this is an option that's consistent with our faith, so it very quickly becomes a no-brainer.
Well, it really is God's plan for sharing one another's burdens for healthcare and other things. But this is God's healthcare plan. I really believe that, and I really am confused. I said this at a town hall meeting last week. I don't even know why somebody wouldn't at least request some information from Samaritan, and so you can pray through it and get a better understanding as you pray through it, whether this is something that you might want to do for your family. It is amazing, and we have some firsthand experiences here with one of our employees. We use it for our employees here at Financial Issues, and Yvonne and I use it, but we'll save that for another time. But give us an update on what's happening on the federal and state level, some things that you can give us some updates on.
Sure. Well, this Tuesday, the House Democrats introduced their new health plan that it would supposedly make Obamacare better. And some of those components include expanding subsidies to basically everyone. This is probably an incremental step to their desire for Medicare for all. And these subsidies would go to everyone, whereas the current subsidies are only given to those who make under $48,500. Another piece of the plan is creating what's called a national reinsurance pool that would essentially subsidize insurance companies who incur high costs. And then a final piece of that would be to reverse the Trump administration regulations that make it somewhat easier right now to purchase limited benefit insurance, things like short-term health plans. Well, the problem with this is that it doesn't address the fundamental problems of cost, of escalating premiums and deductibles and shrinking networks and networks becoming more narrow. And all of those problems arise from the same issue, really, and that is insurance companies are, of course, incentivized to attract the healthy and avoid the sick. And to keep their costs low, they frequently pay rock bottom prices and engage providers who will accept those low costs. So I guess also of note with this plan is that Democrats don't seem to be consolidated on this. You have progressive wings such as Sanders, who are more in favor of a single payer system as opposed to propping up the ACA. Then on the state level, there have been at least 19 states who have expressed interest or started to introduce language for public option or single payer. Single payer being, of course, completely federally run government healthcare, and public option being the federal government creating an insurance plan that would compete with private insurance. So a lot going on, and I think it's just, again, testimony to God's greatness that through it all, we as believers have an option that is consistent with our faith, that we can continue to not only be in community with one another and share those medical needs, but do it at such an affordable cost.
Well, and all of those things you just mentioned that the state and federal government are trying to implement, I believe ought to draw people even more so to Samaritan Ministries and health sharing, because, all of that you just talked about is going to impact in dramatic fashion, not that it already hasn't been impacted, but to even make it worse, the quality of care, the kind of care, and how much care one can receive and where they have to go to receive that care. And it's going to impact those things dramatically only because it's going to have to. And the only people that are going to make out on this, you just explained in the federal, what the federal government's trying to, or what the Democrats put through, or trying to put through, is a subsidy to the American people. That subsidy to American people is coming as a result of our taxes going up somewhere along the line. And it really is a subsidy to insurance companies, because it is going to put insurance companies in a place where they can feel a little bit freer to charge higher prices for their insurance plans, because they know that there's people that are getting subsidized for that. The other subsidy you were talking about is a direct subsidy for insurance companies. That is only going to give the insurance company a license to overcharge even more. And when you follow the money and you look at the profitability since Obamacare of insurance to insurance companies, and you look at the profitability of those insurance companies, it's obscene. It is unbelievable. We see insurance companies going from a 2.2% profit margin to double digits in their profit margin. And these are the insurance companies that are struggling. They're supposedly, and they're getting all these subsidies from the government, and all they're doing is taking the subsidies and cutting what kind of care they're allowing. So all of this is going to go to the average person and the family member of those people getting hurt by not being able to get adequate health care. And I think it's disgraceful. And it doesn't, I don't see a chance of mainstream media talking about that. And it just goes to drive home the importance that we have, the important stewardship responsibility we have to be a good steward of our family's health care. And I'm not trying to sound like a commercial here, but the only way we can be a good steward of that is Samaritan Ministries. I mean, there are other health sharing organizations, but as I tell my folks all the time, I talk about Samaritan because it's what I know and it's what I believe in and it's what I vetted. So, but it's the only way. It's the only way we can do that. We're not going to accomplish that in a traditional insurance kind of way. We're not going to. Sorry, Anthony, I got carried away there, but I want you to.
Dan, we're never going to reform healthcare through regulations or taxes or even insurance. It comes when true reform will come when we think biblically about these things. There's an element of personal responsibility. There's an element of free market and choice and of true charity. And one of the things I love about Samaritan is all three of those intersect, where members do take personal responsibility. They are good stewards. They shop for a good price. And the fact that they have the freedom to choose whatever provider they see. There should never be a third party interfering, telling you where to go. That's between you and your provider. And then thirdly, this idea of charity, of members coming together voluntarily to share one another's medical bills. There's no coercion when if you tax one group of people and redistribute it, that's not charity. It's just theft.
Yeah, it's just theft. You're right. And it is. This is God's plan, folks. And I just say that to everybody. I get so fired up about it because, first of all, I don't understand how there aren't millions of people. We have so many people. I mean, I literally have talked to thousands of people that are listeners of Financial Issues that are now doing Samaritan Ministries, and I feel great about that. But really, folks, I know it is somewhat of a leap of faith. It's hard. My wife was a nurse, and she was not excited about this. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, she didn't know anything else. This is all, regular traditional insurance. That was all she knew. If you were to talk to her today, she would say it's the best thing we ever did, and tells everybody that. It is amazing. I hope that more people will be involved. And I know we're out of time, but you have seen, let me just say quickly, Samaritan Ministries has seen a dramatic increase in millennials coming alongside all of us with Samaritan Ministries, haven't they?
Of our total member households, 25% are between the ages of 23 and 38. I think three of those reasons probably are transparency. We're talking about the lack of that, or you were, Dan, as you're talking about insurance companies. And everything that we do at Samaritan is very transparent, from being member-led, just the way that we balance the medical needs with the monthly shares available, but also being in control of their healthcare, I think, is appealing to this age group as well, that they get to make the decisions. And then thirdly, just the fact that they're part of something that's full of meaning. It's part of the greater good. This isn't just transactional financially, where people send money to one another. That's an important piece, and people are grateful for that. But the difference really is in the community that is felt from member to member when they minister to each other's medical needs and pray for each other.
Yeah,
and I think that appeals to millennials.
Amen. And we love the community, and we know you will too. Anybody that is involved in that, it is amazing. Anthony, thank you so much. We'll have you back real soon.